is Trevor Lane. I am the director of Ferry County, and I was brought in to Ferry County because the gold mine is closing, as we all know, and that is going to have a huge impact on us in Ferry County. And so we began working with the mine when I first got here. I'm here by way of Oklahoma. I've been here for about 3.5 years, so I'm relatively new. But through the social exit strategy, we began to do a lot of different things with economic development and entrepreneurialism. And one of the things that I found out rather quickly with my background in business is that our rural communities and our farmers and our ranchers have a challenge with access to capital. And that's really what this is. The Lion Network, the Local Investment Opportunity Network, is about capital. It's about loans, it's about investment, it's about supporting our rural communities without all the formalities of banking and the SEC. And once Jordan and I had kind of figured that out, Jordan Tampion, who's the creator and founder of this project, he's an attorney, he's a real estate agent, he's got an investment firm outside of the university. He was able to find a route to overcome all of these challenges that a lot of small businesses and investors are faced with. And so it's an informal way to bring people together to improve our communities and give access to capital so that our small businesses, our farms, and our ranches can operate. And there's a lot of little nuances and little caveats here and there, but it's relatively straightforward. It's pretty simple, and it's about, like I said, bringing people who have revenue to the forefront to meet people so that we're all friends and family, and we can get around some of the SEC and technical banking requirements that come with investments. So I know a lot of you are going to have a whole bunch of questions. I know that we've got the Winthrop folks here. Is that right?
Yes.
Twist with Winthrop.
We're all the same.
It's all the same. I'm still learning these things. And so my work stopped shy of the ideation creation, and Jordan deployed it. There are 7 different sites across the state that participate in the Lion Network. It's been working very well so far. There have been no problems that we've had to deal with. That having been said, there's a lot that I could do to talk about the particulars of it, but I think now would be a good opportunity to kind of do a case study and say, how's it working for you all?
It's working pretty good. I'm not really involved in it per se, but I was there on the outset when they joined it. And from what I understand is that we got a very dedicated group of investors and a group of businesses that are looking for investment. And the investors come with money and knowledge and attitude of wanting to get things working and everything. And so it's just kind of matching those two up. And it's, from what I understand, it's going good. We'd like it to be bigger, but it's still, there's still, last week, I got an update tomorrow morning, so this might not be the current update, but last time I heard there was more investors than there were businesses.
Oh, wow. That's a great problem.
That could be changed last month, but.
Sure. It's relatively simple and straightforward in terms of organization and setup. You need a local champion, so you need one person locally to manage all of the dynamics and the people. And then the investors, there's an application process. The investors fill out an application, and then the process begins. And the next step would be to get the investors in a room with the people who need access to capital, and from there it all starts to unfold. And from what I'm hearing, so far, so good. Any questions at this point?
Is it only limited to that area?
No. We have 7 sites, and from what I understand, this is about Okanogan and what we're going to do for Okanogan County. I literally had this dumped on me at 6 a.m. this morning, and so I'm kind of flying by the seat of my pants here, but no, there's a bigger picture here. It can be done in a lot of different ways. It can be done by community, it can be done by region, it can be done by county, and it's my understanding we're looking at this as a county, as an economic development.
That's one thing that I'm really interested in being here for. I like what Twist Winthrop have done. I joined the Tenasca Chamber of Commerce, and it seemed like there was a battle between Orville can't work with Tenasca versus everything else, and that I'm totally against. So to see it come together as a county, Okanogan Valley, a county in general, is a huge step. So.
Okay. Good. No, that's great. Great feedback.
Yeah, you got to work together. I'm with the Chamber of Commerce, and this is run by TwistWorks, and then you have Twist Chamber of Commerce. I would rather have a Metcalf Valley Chamber of Commerce, you know, but there's still some legacy issues there and everything, but just to be.
Great opportunity to learn from these things, and.
But we work
make it
real
for
close
us.
together with Twist Chamber of Commerce.
The important thing that when I was talking to Jordan was, you know, some of the things that he was communicating to me was that he, you know, there again, what you were talking about with champions in the community, you know, and if we get people in each of the communities that are willing to participate, and business people are those who are investors that want to come to the table, you know, we want to open it up or have the discussion, but people have to come to the table. You know, in the Met, how they had people who were gung-ho wanting to invest. You know, for the rest of the county, our challenge is to go and find those people who want to contribute and to take part in, you know, participating in community development and business and development. And so that's why I invited people in the chambers from all of the different areas, so that, you know, I mean, I can't be the one going out and talking to every investor in the county, but it's your jobs as, you know, chambers to find out if there's interest in your community, and if there is, then that's who needs to come to the table and participate as part of this network when it's developed.
Right. We are in the early development stages, you know, so we can paint that picture however we want to paint it, but at the end of the day, we have to have that one person that's going to champion the whole thing. You know, so whether that's in your community or the county, you know, that's going to be up to us to figure that out, and I'm here to help with that process as well. So, yes, ma'am.
You said that there's 7, and I'm curious, 7 in the state of Washington?
Yes.
Okay. How many of those are in eastern Washington, and what's the oldest one?
Most of them are on the coast. This is the second or third one here in eastern Washington, and I don't have that map in front of me. But you all would be among the first here in eastern Washington.
And the oldest one?
2 to 3 years old. Like, this is a relatively new, brand new program.
First was Port Townsend, wasn't it?
Yes.
Port Townsend.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, they only got 1,200 people there.
We're all rich.
They're not like.
Port Townsend was the first one. Yes.
So the one in the upper Metcalf, my initial discussions with Twistworks, and then we indicated they weren't really interested once they got south of Twist. Are you saying now it's an Okanagan organization? And if it is, are the investors willing to invest outside of the upper Metcalf?
To me, I'd have to turn to Ronnie and say,
This would be
I don't know what our local landscape looks like.
This is separate. This would be a separate entity from what Twistworks has currently.
So it isn't
This is a
even
model
started
that we're
yet.
using.
Huh?
It hasn't even started.
No, they have one that's separate to the Met House.
Right.
That is one that they've done. This discussion that we're having is because I've had other communities share with me, why don't we have a local investment network? What do we have to do to get one? And so we're bringing him here to tell us about how that one got put in place, the other 7 or 6 in the state, how those came here, or how they came to be groups. And so that's kind of what he's here to do today.
Well, if I can ask a business question, which is, what's the interest rate on these? Because, you know, there was one out of Spokane that the interest rates ended up being so high, nobody was using them. Is that dependent on the investor?
Typically, so far, it's been what average banking rates and market rates are, 1 to 3%. The average window for investments has been about 10 to 30,000, with a maximum of $300,000. But it's about 1 to 3%.
How can we steer away from variable rates?
You'll be negotiating with the investor. You'll be directly negotiating with that person to set those terms. And that's the other joy of this program, is you're working directly with the person who has money. There's not a tiered system. You're not working through other people. It's a direct, one-on-one, peer-to-peer relationship.
Do you have information that's already written down?
I do. I have a ton of it. Like I said, it just got dumped on me at 6 a.m. and I had to hustle over here rather quickly. I've got a bunch of like FAQs that I can distribute. There's a 1-page summary.
I have a 1-page document that I emailed out to everybody that was an attachment to the email, but I can resend that out again.
We do have lots of information.
So
lots
then-
of questions, so I wanna make sure I get as many of
Yeah,
them as
then my next-
possible.
So this, okay, so I'm reading your one pager, okay, and it's not a venture fund or a bank or a club or a financial institution. Is it a government program? Is it a, what is it?
It's an informal network of investors and people who need access to capital. This is just a template or a model, but you all set the terms as to what this is gonna look like and how it's going to work for you.
The way it works is that you get, in a room like this, you got the investors and the people that are looking at expanding their businesses, and get them together, and it may click or may not click, and they just kind of go off by themselves or whatever. And
So it's just sort of a
It's a network.
brainstorming, networking groups,
then
and
they-
there's
then they
certain
need to
laws
work
that you
out the
have
terms
to
themselves.
follow
Right.
that the state gives you, but not really that many.
you just kind of set up the network, and then they work out, whether it's going to click or not, whether.
And then you make an individual contract with whoever
Right,
you're
right.
gonna
Mhm.
give you the money to do your own thing.
Right, and there's some templates and everything, but it's all individual.
I think when I spoke to Hannah, she had said that they did like a get together. I mean, it was like a networking session, and they did a training for investors so that investors would know kind of this is the expectations. You have funding. How much money are you? Have all these things put together before you show up. And then they also had a training for the businesses so that they can. It's kind of like they're pitching their ideas and like Shark Tank. Have you ever watched Shark Tank? And I mean, it's a very similar concept. And the investor is the one who decides whether or not they're willing to invest their money in your project. So it's definitely open. And if people, it's their risk. So it's not the Economic Alliance taking a risk in lending our money to somebody. It's a community member or a leader, or it's their personal decision on what business they want to take a chance on.
Great summary. Shark Tank was probably the best example. I can't even believe that didn't come to me sooner. Yes, sir.
So is it usually found difficult to find the investors, or, because you have to make a lot of contacts, or you actually advertising, or most of advertising through the newspapers that we're having?
It's like research, and I'll just say it depends.
Okay.
In my case, it has been very difficult. I have tried over in Ferry County to make this happen and bring this together, and for lots of different reasons, it just has not been an option. So that's why I was really excited as they look at moving me over this way to work with the Okanagan Highlands a little bit more. I can say, hey, folks on the other side of the mountain are doing this, let's give it a try.
The first question is, where's the money?
Right. And that's the next steps, is like she said, to do the presentation with the investors. And then, once we realize we do have investors that are serious and ready to take that next step, then we do the presentation with the businesses. And this is why you need that local champion to market it, advertise it, take our press release templates and get them out there, and to really manage the program in terms of the relationships and partnerships that come out of it. Yes, sir.
How do, like, the folks that work for Edward Jones or other stockbrokers react to this? Have they been supportive? Are they actively against it, or how does that work?
So Jordan is brilliant, and he found lots of ways around all these SEC regulations. Because of his relationships with these people, they've been very supportive of him. I personally don't know, but in terms of his success and his track record and the things that he's done outside of the Lion Network, I haven't heard or seen anything that's negative with that group of folks, because it's a niche that they don't want to serve or can't serve for a lot of reasons. I mean, there's a reason why we're all here in this room and not working with the AG Edwards and, the other big investment firms across the country. Did that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay.
Ronnie, one thing you mentioned is there's gonna be the class for the investors. Then you also mentioned for the entrepreneurs, the business people. There's so many grants and things out there that just gets confusing. And if there is, like, Lou's helped me find a ton. And to wade through it and figure out which direction to go is rough, especially when it seems like it hasn't been done much up in this area.
I teach classes on those, and when the Lion Network didn't take, I've been teaching a lot of grant writing, grant networking, supplemental funding, access to capital classes over in Ferry County that have been received very well. And a lot of the small businesses and local government have taken advantage of that instead. So that's something else that I can bring to the table to help the group with too.
Well, and I think that each individual business has to determine, I mean, I think most people, if they can go to their traditional banking institute, I mean, that's the number one, you're gonna get a better interest rate. I mean, it's just a traditional way of going about it. But a lot of businesses, especially those who are more, I don't want to say non-traditional, but higher risk maybe, something that's not been done before. Those are the ones that people are going to bring to the table, and they might present that to an investor who is willing to take that chance. We used to have the North Central Washington Business Loan Fund, who was our non-traditional lending institution, who would look at some of the things that aren't necessarily bankable by your traditional lending institution, and now that's gone. We're no longer going to have that as a resource here in our area. So putting something like this together, and we will have Craft 3. It's another lending institution, but they're not local. They're not going to be here. There's not going to have a person here on the ground, and their presence will no longer be here. So I just think that we as a community have to look at other types of opportunities for us to be able to move forward to support entrepreneurship. And we always have people coming into our office wanting to talk about different grants, and we always are like, well, once you find those grants, and let us know where they're at, because in all reality there's no free money out there anymore. And so it's either non-traditional lending institutions or going to your local bank, and we will not see business open if a lot of them had to rely upon going to their traditional bank because they could not get a loan.
Ronnie, did Craft 3 absorb?
Yep.
Business loan fund?
Yeah, Rich is supposed to be here today to talk a little bit more about that. That happens effective this Saturday, September 30th.
Yes.
Well, more of a comment than a question is, I went and looked at investment opportunities and found Local 2020 in Jefferson County. And just reading their main page tells me a lot about their program. And so I suggest people look at that. It's probably, that looks good.
Yeah, we get to design this. I mean, you all get to really drive what this looks like, and finding that local champion, that's going to be more of a challenge than probably finding the investors and the businesses. Is finding that person who can manage these relationships and oversee the program and ensure that everybody's voice is being heard. Yeah.
What experiences have you had, or have you had any experiences with a bad partnership, or somebody who had a business who met with an investor and they decided to sign a contract to fund their program or their business, and it went south? How do you do?
I've not had any of that I'm aware of. I will specifically ask, but I'm pretty in tune, and Jordan and I work very closely on a lot of different things. And I've never heard of that happening with the Line Network so far.
My trip's been pretty rocky and interesting across the way. Like I said, I grew up in Okanagan County. My family home settled in 1899, and I had a nice suit and tie job somewhere on the coast. But I made the jump over here to start my own business, and I knew I had to have a multifaceted business to do it. So I actually worked with Lou when I started over on the coast, working over there. I came over here, went for it, and it was I tried to get the first mobile juicing trailer in the United States, all over the European Union area, and there's 9 in Canada. And I had it all approved in writing. We got the loan through Craft 3, and then the Department of Agriculture changed their mind. So
The USDA or the WSDA?
the Washington State Department of Agriculture. So I almost plummeted, but managed to get my loan paid off. Very rocky back and forth, but now I got a small startup salary that's going. So
Sounds like this might be something that could help.
yeah, and I'm working with Lou again for another venture then I think we'll be less rocky.
Well, and with the work I do with grants and whatnot, I mean, there's some room for exploration, I'll help you with that too.
So one of the things that I would maybe add to the conversation is the need for sort of pre-SBDC is basic financial literacy 101 for businesses and really understanding what they need to have before they even go to talk to Lou in terms of having their credits straightened around, understanding
Right.
risk evaluation and some real basics, and Lou could probably help to provide some of that. But I think, so you want to start a business kind of class would be really helpful to
Right.
help people to see the reality, because when I was at the Business Loan Fund, I was the second executive director of the loan fund. I interviewed a lot of potential entrepreneurs who could make the very best widgets you've ever seen, but they didn't understand how to do the bookkeeping, and they didn't understand marketing, and there were a whole lot of
Bigger picture. than
yeah,
just
and they
your
thought if they
business
just had a
plan.
bookkeeper, they were good, and it's like, no, you need to understand your finances.
Right.
So, to me, that's like the prime thing people need to understand. On the other side of the coin, many years ago, I was involved with private lenders, and, a lot of different kinds of private lending. And you have to really be cautious of people who are willing to loan you money privately, because quite often they're fairly experienced, and there may be clauses within those contracts that you don't necessarily understand. There are a lot of things to watch out.
And
watch
she's really
for.
hitting on the importance of that local champion. Having that person that knows the players, that knows the people, that can help businesses and investors navigate that landscape, because that'll really determine, our first presentation with investors and our first presentation with businesses. And everything she just mentioned, hopefully would be things that we bring forward and do, and we may find that 2 presentations isn't enough. Maybe we need to do more than that to really develop that landscape, because you all are truly in that developmental phase, and this is the most important phase in stepping off on the right foot. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Typically, who would be a local champion? Would it be a retired person? Would it be a executive director of an economic alliance? What sort of person would it be? Because it doesn't sound like it's something you do 5 minutes a day.
Right.
So
It depends, and, we're finding that the EDCs are a big piece of that local champion part, but it depends, because they have their mandates and their capacity too. So, Ronnie, is that something that you could speak to a little bit more about what you think that local champion would look
But
like?
also, you've got 7 up and running, so what kind of people have you got in those 7?
So my experience with this stopped with creation and ideation, and I'm literally just now taking on the northeastern side of the
Oh, so
stuff.
you don't-
I don't know.
Don't know.
I don't
Okay.
know. I have access to all of that information, but I'm just now
Okay.
getting up to speed on those things, so I don't have that right in front of me.
I think the biggest thing that, my goal with this whole thing is bringing the idea to gauge whether or not there's an interest in our communities. Because again, we've had people over the years, oh, let's do this or let's do that, and we jump in, feet first, and we spend a lot of time and energy on putting into something like this, and then there's no other people that support, and so the reason why we wanted to have this discussion was to find out, how many people are interested in learning more about it. How many people are willing, because again, I'm one person who provides service throughout the county, and you talk about resources, there's a lot of things that we have to do, but I would depend upon the Chamber of Commerce's and the communities to help coordinate and help with those education type things. I don't have a problem if there is an interest and there's demand in our county to take this role or to participate in this, but I would rely upon all of our partners and chambers to help us get the word out and to recruit those people, because again, I can't go and knock on all of your investors' doors in every one of your communities. I don't even know who those people might be. You guys know your communities better than anybody. So that would be,
Sounds to me like we have a room full of champions with a point guard. In a sense.
Are you saying that I'm short and that would be the role that I was the point guard at one time?
But my point is, you're gonna need help, like, you
Yeah.
can't just all fall on you if you are that champion.
Right.
And that's what these conversations are about, yes, ma'am.
I mean, if she asked like the type of person that would be a good champion, I would say that someone with my skill set would be a great champion. I'm getting my degree in communications. I have a background in marketing. Like this, just listening to it sounds like something that would be fun, and you're making connections and you're keeping them. So I know that there's a base of, a pool of people to choose from
Sure.
with these kind of skills and interests, and you have one in this area, so.
What's your name again, and how can and how many other things do you want to participate in?
How busy are you?
Well, one thing I'm looking at in the valley, how do I figure out, I found a building in Okanagan. I have a spot in Tenasket. How do I figure out which is the better market for me to go into? How do I learn more about the area, the community? Like,
Mayor,
Talk to me.
well, when I first came to town, there was the Caribou, or I believe it was open, so I got approached by Okanagan to help open the restaurant and do something there. But I had the aspirations that I was gonna do everything on my family ground up in the up in the Havila area. And well, as things change, you gotta change your business plan, your ideas, and look outward. So
the Okanagan Chamber does have a pretty good, they had put a lot of demographic information about the community in the city and about their, what they have to offer and those types of things. And I'm sure that we can,
Market
John will be able to.
analysis is what I hear.
Huh?
well, where do
Market
you even
analysis
start
is what I
Yes.
hear.
to do a market analysis?
Yeah.
We already have that.
In my case, our EDC has a lot of that information, and like you said, chambers will have some of that. I'm still learning over here.
Yep.
So I'm gonna stick around, I'm not going anywhere. Are there any more questions before I sit down and let you all